we're going to be talking about Google Plus for Business. I've got two guest speakers that are going to be talking about their particular perspective, their particular expertise within the world of Google Plus. What I want to do tonight is I want to first set the stage by kind of stepping you through the evolution of Google Plus and how we kind of got to where we are today. So it really dates back to March of 2004. 9 years ago, Google, for the very first time, started showing what they referred to as local search results. And so this is an original screenshot of how you could, if you could find where they had these results, you could dig in and you could find actual businesses that Google felt were not just websites talking about pizza in Palo Alto, but were actual businesses in that particular area or in your particular area. This was the start of a significant change for Google. The next kind of big thing in the evolution that came along was Google introduced Google Maps in 2005. The look and feel of Google Maps has not changed dramatically in that time, but they have added a tremendous amount of capabilities and features since that point. The next big thing that was in the evolution of what we have today was right after that, in March of 2005, Google released what they called the Local Business Center. And if you have a business, they encouraged you to go to the Local Business Center and claim your listing. What were they called? They were called Google Local Business Center listings, where you could ensure that they've got your name and address and phone number correct. You could add some small description of what you do. You could add payments accepted, your hours of operation. You could even add pictures there. And if you went in and claimed your Google Local Business Center listing, you could have potentially higher rankings in the Google results when they were showing it. Now, since the beginning, Google has always kind of fiddled around with where do these local search results show up when you go to Google. In the beginning, back in 2004, they were not on the main page of Google. You really had to kind of dig for them. This is an example of a screenshot that I have back from 2008. The highlighting is mine, but you'll see that they had the Google Local Business Center or Google Local results next to the map up here. This is the beginning of what we called the 10-pack, because there were 10 results next to the map. That evolved into the 7-pack. That evolved into the 3 and 5-pack in the 1 box and all kinds of different things. Google is still kind of mixing up how they display the different results on Google. So this changes on a regular basis. They're looking for opportunities to give their customers the best user experience. So where the results display changes on a regular basis, but you can count on the local results that are tied to maps, which have now kind of evolved into Google Plus stuff. Are at least relatively prominent, in some cases extremely prominent. That's part of why it's important to optimize, to make use of Google Plus, whatever current version they have of these products and services, make use of them as much as possible. Next big step in the evolution was in 2009, Google changed the long name Google Local Business Center listing to Google Places, or a Google Place page. A Google Place page is what your listing was then called. And this is an example of what you might have seen back then. It was a slightly enhanced version of what they had. It was primarily a name change, but it was also had some enhancements there. The following year, they changed the name of the hub, which still was called the Google Local Business Center. They changed that to the Google Places. And you could log into Google Places to manage your Google Place page. One thing that was different from the beginning to Google, when they moved to Google Places, is that it wasn't just for businesses. They made a specific point of letting you know that they wanted to have a place page for every place. So if there is a landmark in your area, the landmark could have a place page. A city park could have a place page. A building within a university campus could also have a place page. For our purposes, most of what we're interested in is that there were place pages for each and every business out there. So the next big thing that had an impact on these products and services that Google were providing for businesses was Google Plus came along in June of 2011. It initially was by invitation only. Did any of you guys get started with Google Plus in June of 2011? Peter, were you in on it? So a handful of you. You guys were earlier adopters than I was. I was a few months behind you. Still playing catch up with Peter here. And then for the first few months, there was also a lot of talk of, well, these Google Plus profiles. These Google Plus profiles were for individuals. What about my business? I want my business to be able to interact with people out there. And all we had was a Google Place page where we could kind of promote ourselves and tell people who we are and what we do and post some pictures, but we couldn't interact. And so a few months later, Google released Google Plus for Business. And it was the same, it was a very similar thing to Google Plus profiles, which were for individuals. You could post comments, you could post videos and information up there, you could interact with people, but you still had a Google Place page, and now you had a Google Plus page for business. Those are actually the two different things that you had at the time. You had this new tool from Google, which they called the Google Plus Business page, and they separately had the Google Place page. In May of 2012, they made another change. This was your Google Place page, and they updated all of the Place pages to now become part of the Google Plus community. But you still had your original Google Plus page. And so you ended up with a Google Plus for Business page, and you also ended up with what used to be the Place page. You ended up with a Google Plus Local page. Two different things. They filled two different roles if you're trying to promote yourself online. Let's take a look at what they did. So the Google Plus Business page, everybody staying with me so far? Just wait, it gets more confusing.
Don't push it.
It's a good thing we've got some experts here to talk about all these things tonight. So the Google Plus Business page, this is very similar to a Google Plus profile for a person. It's where you can post information, you can have comments back and forth with individual people. It is a social medium, but there is no way for people to place a review on your business here. You can have people follow you, you can interact with them, but it's different than the original Google Place pages. Here's one of the examples of the difference here. You'll notice that up in the top, there's an option for people to follow you. And so that's one of the things that the other thing doesn't have. This is your Google Plus Business page. And this is your Google Plus Local page. The Google Plus Local page is what used to be called Place pages. All right? And so one of the biggest differences here is that this is where people can leave reviews on your organization, but you do not have the social interaction. So you ended up with two different products from Google, two different services from Google. One's for promoting your business and getting reviews of your business, and one is for interacting with people. They finally, in 2012, came out with an option to merge the two together. Thank you. Bam. And they called it a verified Google Plus page or a merged Google Plus page. And part of the confusion is also that they end up using different terms. Even when Google employees are speaking about these things, sometimes they'll call it merge and sometimes they'll call it verified. And verified actually used to mean something a little different in the past. But this is an example of a verified Google Plus page. And you can see that it has both the option for people to follow you in a social manner, and there's the option for people to leave a review. So this is ultimately what Google wants us to get to. This is what I hope that we're all going to be able to get to at some point in time. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, because when they came out with the initial option to merge it, there were a lot of restrictions. Well, you can merge your two pages if this situation and that situation and this situation. Otherwise, Otherwise, they were recommending that you wait, because they said, we're going to come out with a more automated process that will merge your two pages together. And don't worry, it's coming soon. And that was in August of 2012. And about a month and a half ago at a Local U, which is a local SEO event that some friends of mine put on around the country, somebody directly from Google said, wait, it's coming soon. And one of the things we'll talk about a little more tonight is it here yet or not? But the downside of this is that for most businesses today, the right thing to do has been to not merge the pages. Hopefully we are getting very close to where everybody will be able to merge their Google pages together, but we're not quite there yet. So let me step through a little bit of where the confusion has come from. So first off, there's the difference between a Google Plus profile and page. Generally, we're using the word profile for an individual's thing on Google Plus, a person's or an author, and we're using the term page primarily when we're talking about businesses. You've got the potential to have a Google Plus business page. You've got the potential to have a Google Plus local page. Sometimes either of them are referred to as a Google Plus local business page. What is that? Don't know. You've got what was originally a Google Place page, and now that Google Place page converted into a Google local page, and you run into this use of merged versus verified, which used to mean different things. And so what you're trying to come up with today is either a merged or verified Google Plus local or business page. Does that make perfect sense? So now that I've confused you, I just wanted to kind of step you through the evolution. If you feel a little lost, it's natural. I do this almost every day, and I feel lost a lot. It has been a confusing, convoluted process that Google has gone through. They have some wonderful products out there. They have some wonderful services and tools that we can use to promote ourselves and our brands online. It's just a matter of the technology isn't as easy as we would like it to be yet. Hopefully tonight, one of the things that we're going to accomplish is we're going to point you in the right direction to stay ahead of your competition in understanding the right things to do for your business.